Like there's never like a news report where it's like, oh no, I needed to know that right up to the minute.
I actually look away from it a lot. It's easier to.
I would say, yeah, the media that I consume and access and the information that I get is quite different being outside of the US.
There are 24-hour news channels, but it's not the same kind of sensationalism, I would say.
But if I do see U.S. media, like online or whatever, it just seems it's very, in my opinion, very idealistic, or it's very pointed at its audience. So you're going to see kind of what you want to see.
Exactly. I would definitely say ignorance is bliss, because I will hear about the issues here or more issues related to just Europe or Turkey or Egypt, Morocco, not so much America. It'll just be a little blurb about what's going on in the US, and it's usually just the facts. So like, oh, Trump said this or whatever. It's not going to be opinionated like Fox or CNN or whatever.
Like daily news here is very straightforward. It's kind of like NPR in a lot of ways. Like they're just giving you the straight dope at 8 o'clock at night, and then they send you on your way, you know?
There's always like some underlying emotion to what the information that they're giving, whether it's like on this side or that side. There's it just seems like a personal emotion that's like given when they're telling the news.
I like to use international sources. I think it's really helpful to look at how the rest of the world sees the US. And it helps me to remember that the US is just one country that is currently going through political turmoil and a cultural divide.
Being out here, it has definitely opened my eyes when you look back on it, just how corrupting it is, like the mind space that gets taken up by endless, like wall-to-wall coverage of disasters, wall-to-wall coverages of shootings, especially like with no reasoning other than to keep people watching the TV and you know, like kind of callous.
Right, like a mass shooting happens and suddenly it's all over the feed. You know, it's all over the Twitter, all over Facebook, all over whatever news programs, you know, you might happen to watch.
That being said, I think anywhere you live that has an internet connection these days, you have to be careful.
And when I was in quarantine, you know, I came to Tunisia and I had to spend 2 weeks in this hotel room with Wi-Fi, which is dangerous.
Our president was so vocal on Twitter, and people were talking about that here from the beginning, like all over. Other people I know from all over the world, like contacts, friends, whatever, were all like, really, with the Twitter? That's a thing. I said, yeah, apparently.
That became a huge narrative too, this idea of like YouTube radicalizing people and then meeting people who it's kind of easy to see that they're clearly part of that online ecosystem of alt-right memes and posts, and want to have arguments about why Trump is so great and why why we need to own the lib.
Yeah, I mean, the real battleground now is more in like social media and what people are digesting over YouTube, you know, which it doesn't matter where you live. I think that's prevalent everywhere.
Yeah, that access to news it can be challenging, and I think it's important to remember that the US political situation is not the only thing happening in the world right now, and I need to sort of divide my time consuming media to also appreciate global issues and issues in the country where I'm currently living, which, you know, will also affect me.